You know, I get why people say you're not supposed to speak ill of the dead. I really do. But that's for when regular people die. It's not supposed to apply to rich and powerful asshole members of the ruling elite who had enormous power and used it for evil. Not speaking ill of the dead applies to your uncle who chain smoked and was an angry drunk. It's not for a judge who sanctioned torture and advocated imprisoning homosexuals. So let's have at it, shall we? I mean, I feel bad for Scalia's family, but I feel good for everybody else. Scalia's death has inspired Republicans to pause and reflect and find an entirely new way to be full of shit about the Constitution. In lieu of flowers, the Scalia family requests that guns be sent to any crazed psycho who happens to want one. No questions asked. You know, he's been referred to as a dogmatic extremist and an ultra-conservative zealot. Hey, let's remember that Scalia was a person just like the corporations who are mourning his death. His passing raises many important questions for Americans like, with Scalia gone, who will put the next Republican into the White House? With Scalia gone, who will represent dead old white guys from over 200 years ago? With Scalia gone, will Clarence Thomas have even less to say? Scalia is considered by conservatives as the greatest Supreme Court justice of our era. Yep, no Supreme Court justice fought harder against equal protection. He ruled that homosexuals should be imprisoned, was against gay marriage and said it will have adverse social effects. He was for overturning Roe versus Wade. He was for the death penalty and was pro-torture. He said African Americans should go to schools that have a slower learning track than whites. Scalia voted against acknowledging DNA evidence that finds people on death row innocent, saying, quote, executing the innocent doesn't violate the Constitution, end quote. His judicial record shows a man who was small-minded, backward, and bigoted. Or as Republicans would say, a really great guy. Scalia is like if you put a Donald Trump supporter on the Supreme Court. To review. According to Scalia, innocent people on death row aren't people. Black students desiring higher education aren't people. And gay people loving each other aren't people. But corporations, they're people. And let's remember, Scalia died at a Texas ranch owned by a billionaire who had a lawsuit against him turned down by the Supreme Court. Because, you know, justice is blind if you have enough money. Scalia's death has inspired many conspiracy theories from right-wingers, some who believe it was a hit job by the president. Even Donald Trump said Scalia's death was very suspicious. Yes, the death of a 79-year-old chain-smoking, overweight diabetic is extremely suspicious. Republicans are calling for the president not to nominate a Supreme Court justice because they are strict constitutionalists who never, ever have read the Constitution. Republicans are relying on an important historical precedent. For the last 80 years, they've been full of shit. Conservatives consider Scalia irreplaceable. Yes, it'll be hard to find another justice with Scalia's impressive commitment against justice. Scalia loved the judicial robe. He thought black was very slimming. Antonin Scalia said the Constitution is, quote, not a living document and is dead, dead, dead. Well, now that Scalia is also dead, he's become the ultimate constitutionalist. Scalia worked so hard preventing a better future that the future moved on without him.